Does that help? Is that an answer? Is that an answer? So I think it's important if you are an actor, be a great actor. If you're a sculptor, be a great sculptor. If you write things, write great things, and that is your act of worship. Creation is, like Paul said, it is good. It's good. It is already blessed. It doesn't need a whole bunch of things attached to it to then make it. You're like blessing something. God's already said, I took care of that. Now you just go make great stuff.
Yeah, okay. Now, I know you love stories, and I'm about to wrap this up, but I know you love stories. Tell me why do stories matter? Why is storytelling important?
Because the ultimate mystery is the divine meeting us in space and time. The ultimate hope is God meeting us in space and time. And that requires an unfolding of action in time. So what we say is not there is some sort of vague, ambiguous. What we believe is that in the actual unfolding of history, we are not alone and we're going to be okay. And so a story unfolds in time, which makes it different than an abstract, God is A, God is B, God is C. That continues to be abstract, and that could be anywhere, but a story unfolds in space and time. And what we all want to know is, are we alone, or is there a presence journeying with us? Is this going somewhere, or is it truly meaningless? My wife got a master's at USC, and she had a class from an international expert in death and dying. This was this person's specialty. And at the heart of their scholarly work was, you die and that's it. It's over, the lights are turned off, there's nothing more. Well, we all fundamentally go, that's not a very good story. And the story that you are telling drives everything. So here's a very practical example. If your story begins in Genesis 3, with people being really bad, then your gospel will be, we have to deal with the sin thing. And then if it begins with the world is bad and people are bad, then the highest form of allegiance to this story, we're figuring out how to evacuate and go somewhere else. If your story begins in Genesis 1, it begins with a poem of creation where these people together, God has said, I made this big, beautiful world. I put you in it. Now you go and make something big and beautiful with it. Go enjoy it. Look at these trees and look at this fruit and look at this. If your story begins in Genesis 1 and 2, well, that's a fundamentally different story. Then no longer is the fundamental problem getting rid of sin. The gospel then is restoration and redemption and renewal and return to how God always intended things to be. So then, deeply, your gospel is not how can we get out of here, it's how can we invite God here. It's not how can we go somewhere else to heaven, it's how can we live the kind of lives in which we bring heaven here. Are you with me now?
Yeah,
so you can find this quite quickly. You can find this all quite quickly. Whether or not you find sustainable energy initiatives meaningful or not comes back to the kind of story you believe that's being told. If you believe this place is going to be torched and we're going to go somewhere else, then why work to make this the kind of world that God could come to? But Jesus says, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So stories, big stories matter, and small stories matter because they reflect the larger story you believe that's being told.
That's an awesome answer. Okay,
I just made it up. I've never